Welcome back. It was at this moment that both of them saw something black come out of the mist. It was a man. He was flung up out of the ocean. Flung. It seemed to his feet by a breaker. He staggered a few steps, his body outlined against the mist, his arms above his head. Then the curled mist hit him again. Who's that? Hannah cried. She dropped Sadao's arm, and they both leaned over the railing of the veranda. Now they saw him again. The man was on his hands and knees crawling. Then they saw him fall on the face and lie there. A fisherman, perhaps, Sadao said, washed from his boat. He ran quickly down the steps, and behind him Hannah came, her white sleeves flying. A mile or two away on either side there were fishing villages, but here was only the bare and lonely coast, dangerous with rocks. The surf beyond the beach was spiked with rocks. Somehow the man had managed to come through them. He must be badly torn. They saw when they came toward him that indeed it was so. The sand on one side of him had already a stain of red soaking through. "He is wounded," Sadao exclaimed. He made haste to the man who lay motionless, his face in the sand. An old cap stuck to his head, soaked with sea water. He was in wet rags or garments. Sadao stopped, Hannah at his side, and turned the man's head. They saw the face. "A white man," Hannah whispered. Yes, it was a white man. The wet cap fell away, and there was his wet yellow hair, long as though for many weeks it had not been cut, and upon his young and tortured face was a rough yellow beard. He was unconscious and knew nothing that they did for him. Now Sadao remembered the wound, and with his expert fingers he began to search for it. Blood flowed freshly at his touch. On the right side of his lower back, Sadao saw that a gun wound had been reopened. The flesh was blackened with powder. Sometime not many days ago, the man had been shot and had not been tended. It was bad chance that rock had struck the wound. "Oh, how he is bleeding!" Hannah whispered again in a solemn voice. The mist screened them now completely. At this time of day no one came by. The fishermen had gone home, and even the chance beachcombers would have considered the day at an end. "What shall we do with this man?" Sadao muttered. But his trained hands seemed of their own will to be doing what they could do to stanch the fearful bleeding. He packed the wound with the sea moss that strewed the beach. The man moaned with pain in his stupor, but he did not awaken. "The best thing that we could do would be to put him back in the sea," Sadao said, answering himself. Now that the bleeding was stopped for the moment, he stood up and dusted the sand for his hand. "Yes, undoubtedly, that would be best," Hannah said steadily, but she continued to stare down at the motionless man. So it was the time when both of them saw something black coming out of the mist. They found a man. He was flung up. Yes, flung up out of the ocean. He was washed ashore, flung, and his feet by breaker. It seemed like that he got his feet by a breaker. He started staggered. He could not able to walk properly. Sometimes he falls, then he got up. Then anyhow he was walking, and then his body outlined against the mist, his arm above his head, just like he made himself surrender. And then the curled mist hid him again. Hannah cried, "Who's that?" She dropped Sadao's arm. They were at the veranda. They saw him again. The man was on his hands and knees crawling. He was crawling. He staggered, crawling. You can see on the picture what was their condition. The man was very badly injured, it seemed like. Now they saw fall on his face and lie there. Sadao said, maybe he's a fisherman. Perhaps. He watched from his boat. Both of the now he ran down quickly down the steps behind him. Hannah, with her white sleeve flying, the kimono dress. A mile or two away, when they just reached mile or two away, there was some. The mile or two away, there either side there were some fishing villages, but there are only very less chances because the time is already very late, and there is only bare and lonely coast, dangerous with rocks. The surf beyond the beach was spiked with rocks, so somehow the man managed to come through them. He was badly torn. His condition was very much, you can say, pathetic, very much pathetic. When they saw, they came towards him. The sand on one side of him already stained with red stroking. So that means this man was either shot at his back, or he was wounded. Sadao exclaimed, "He is wounded!" And he made haste. Means he got very hurry with this man who lay motionless, his face on the sand. So his cap struck on his head, soaked with sea water. He was in wet rags of garments. Sadao stopped there. Hannah was at his side. Then they turned the man's head and they saw the face. They amazed. A white man. A white man means American. Yes, he was. It was a white man. The wet cap fell away, and then they find the wet yellow hair. It was long. For many years it had not been cut, and upon his young and tortured face, because that man was tortured, face was a rough yellow beard. The man was unconscious. He knew nothing what is happening with him. Now Sadao remembered the wound, and his expert fingers started searching for it because he was a doctor, and doctor has a Hippocratic oath that their foremost duty is to cure the patient by any means. They would not see any caste, they would not see any creed, they would not see any religion. So Sadao forgot the Sadao forgotten that America and Japan were enemy. The blood flowed fleshly at his chest. The blood was flowing. On the right side of his lower back, Sadao found a gun wound. So he was wounded by a gun, and which had been reopened. The flesh got black with the powder, and it was not many days ago the man had been shot, but he had not been taken care. Tended means taken care. It was very bad chance with the rock had struck the wound. First he got shot, and then on the same spot he was struck with the rocks. Oh, how he's bleeding, Hannah whispered again. Now the mist screened them completely. There was a mist, and the screen them covered them completely. At the time of the day, no one came back. The fishermen already gone their home, and even the chance of the beachcombers, impossible. They were also not there. Now they were in dilemma. What they should do with this man. Sadao muttered, but his trained hand, his perfect hand was seemed to do something with his fearful bleeding. He packed the wound. That means the primary treatment he has given. He packed the wound with the sea moss, which was near the beach. The man moaned with stupor. Stupor means, suppose there is a stupor means a kind of pain and a voice. Oh my God! Oh, that's the voice of his painful voice when he was taken care with the sea moss, when his wound was healing with the sea moss. Sadao then said, the best thing we could do, the best to put him back in the sea, because he was American, and American were his enemy, their enemy. But the bleeding got stopped for a moment, and he dusted the sand from his hand. Hannah said steadily, yes, undoubtedly, but she continued to stare down this motionless man. But she continued to stare. She said, but she was not doing anything else. तो उसी टाइम पे वो एक आदमी को देखते हैं जो कूदता फांद माने कि गिरता पड़ता लड़खड़ाता आता है, उस धुंध की तरफ से निकलता और फिर वो धुंध उसे कवर कर लेती है। हना कहती कौन है? सदाव सदाव और वो जो है सदाव के जो मतलब कि जो आपकी बाहें वो उन्हें छोड़ दे। सदाव भी देखता है, वो कहता है कि शायद कोई फिशरमैन होगा, बहता हुआ आ गया होगा, वॉश फ्रॉम हिज बोट, बहता हुआ आ गया। वो भागा भागा जाता है ना भी उसके पीछे जाती है। 1 या 2 मील की दूरी पर वहां पे कुछ फिशिंग विलेजेस थे, लेकिन मुश्किल से ही वहां पर कोई इस टाइम नजर आने वाली बात थी, ठीक है, क्योंकि वहां पर सिर्फ डेंजरस रॉक्स थे बस, और समुद्र की लहरें जो रॉक से टकरा रही है। किसी तरीके से वो आदमी जो है उनके पास तक आता है, बहुत बुरी हालत, फटे पुराने कपड़े हो रखे होते हैं उसके। जब उसे देखते हैं तो लगता है हाँ भाई वाकई में, कहते तो घायल है। उसके हाथ बहुत जल्दी जल्दी वहां पहुंचते कि कहाँ होंगे, कहाँ उसे चोट लगी होगी। तो जो पुराना जो उसने कैप पहनी होती है पुरानी हो चुकी होती है, वो भी जो है कि सी वाटर से भरी भरी होती है, गारमेंट्स उसके गीले हो जाते हैं। हना जो है वो दूसरी तरफ उस आदमी के सर को देखती है, जैसे ही उनके चेहरे को देखते हैं, ओ हो ये तो अमेरिकन है भाई, वाइट मैन, गोरा आदमी। जो वेट कैप है, जो गीली कैप है, वो भी गिर जाती है। वेट येलो हेयर, उनके जो येलो कलर के हेयर होते हैं वो नजर आता है। बहुत टाइम से बाल ही नहीं काटा, ऐसा लग रहा है क्वारंटाइन से आया हुआ हो। नहीं ऐसा नहीं, मतलब होता है कि आजकल नाई से बाल कटाना थोड़ा डेंजरस होता है, तो कई लोगों ने बाल बढ़ा रखे, पता लगा जब बाद में निकले तो वो कोई शेक्सपियर बन के निकल रहा है, तो कोई कुछ बन के निकल, कोई कुछ बन के निकल रहा है। साइंटिस्ट की दुनिया में। सो अपॉन हिज यंग, अब उसके यंग और टॉर्चर फेस पर यानी कि रफ येलो बियर्ड, यही नजर आ रहा था। बंदा अनकॉन्शियस था, ये नहीं पता उसके साथ क्या हो रहा है। सदाओं को एकदम से आता था उसका, एकदम से पता चलता है कि उसके हाथ ढूंढ लेते हैं उसके वो घाव, खून बह रहा होता है। राइट साइड उसके जो पीछे की तरफ, पीठ की तरफ जो राइट साइड है, वहां पर देखता है कि उसे गोली लगी है, और जो उसका मांस है, फ्लैश है, वो काला हो गया गन पाउडर से। ज्यादा टाइम नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन उसका ख्याल भी नहीं रखा गया, यानी उसके ऊपर घाव उसका भरा भी नहीं है। ऊपर से वो कहता है कितना इसका खून बह रहा है। एकदम से धुंध जो है क्या नाम उन्हें ढक लेता है, कोई नहीं आता। फिशरमैन भी अपने घर घर चले गए होते हैं, आसपास कोई नहीं। वो सोचते क्या करे इस आदमी का। पर सदाओं के हाथ, क्योंकि डॉक्टर का हिपोक्रेटिक ओथ उसे याद आता है, उसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उसे याद आती है कि बहुत बुरी तरह से वो ब्लीडिंग कर रहा होता है। वो जो है उस वुंड को पैक करता है, सी मॉस से, वहाँ पे सी के जो राख, सॉरी जो मिट्टी होती है उसको लेता है, उससे वो घाव भर देता है। और जैसे ही घाव को भरता है तो वो दर्द से करहाता है। तो मॉन्ड विद पेन इन स्टूपर, वो ये होता है मॉन्ड विद पेन, मॉन्ड मतलब करहाना, और स्टूपर उस पेन के साथ, पर उसको ये नहीं पता क्या हो रहा है। सदाव कहता है अच्छा तो ये हम इसे वापस समुद्र में फेंक दें, लेकिन वो ब्लीड कर रहा होता है, खून बह रहा होता है। हना भी कहती है हाँ यही सही है, लेकिन वो चुपचाप उसे देखती रहती है। थैंक यू, सी इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो।